All right, hello out there. Welcome to the Cajun Jam. Mitch Reed, Fiddle Hell Cajun Jam. Get ready. So I'm on a little bit early, but yeah, talk a little bit about what I'm going to do. So I grew up in Southwest Louisiana, from a musical family. My father played accordion, and then I learned fiddle when I was about 14 years old, and went and studied with a lot of old guys that lived way out in the woods, a lot of swamp guys, and learned a lot of tunes from them, and then played with a lot of different bands. I traveled with Bosco A, played with Bosco A for 11 years, so that was a lot of fun. But yeah, so y'all let me know, send me some comments if you have any questions, or let me know if you like the tunes. But we're going to start up, you know, around 8 o'clock, but I just thought I'd get on a little early. Hey, Mark, I see you there. Mark just joined. Okay, I've never done this before, so I was wondering how I was going to see my comments, but I think they're just going to pop up on my screen. So
you can click on that notification.
Where is that? Show me.
Like maybe click on the notification for. Yep.
Oh, okay. So that's it going on right now. So that's it live.
So there you go. So if anybody
Can I blow
comments-
it up? Can I blow that up? And I would still be able to see the comments, right? You can leave it like that if you want.
Okay, cool. Oh, look, click to expand. Okay.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, and then the comments will come in probably on the side, I guess. And I would still be able to see the
There
comments.
you go.
Right? Oh, you know what? That's going to create an echo, so I should mute it.
Oh, here we go. I'll just.
There's
There
a
you
little bit of a delay. Yeah. Okay, cool.
So people
All right.
You can see the comments.
Okay, thank you so much. So my wife Jen, she's the computer person. She helped me out with this because I don't know what I'm doing. All right, but yeah, so we're gonna play some tunes, Cajun tunes, and even a little Irish stuff. We're gonna mix it all up. So come jam with me. I'm gonna basically play like the way I would play at a Cajun dance. You know, I'm going to do a fast tune and then a slow tune. So that's how Cajuns do tunes. They'll do like start off with a two-step or a reel, and then play a waltz and then a fast tune and a waltz, and then every now and then throw in a blues. So we have some blueses in there. But yeah, I got my Fiddle Hell t-shirt on. Always had a blast going. This is actually one of my favorite fiddle festivals, fiddle camps, because it's just amazing. Everybody's there. Jay and Molly Younger, I mean, all the greats, you know, all my heroes. So love going there. And yeah, if you've never been to Fiddle Hell, get ready. You gotta come on out because it's powerful stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna talk a little bit about the tunes. The first tune I'm going to jam on is called the Bosco Stomp. And Bosco is a little area in Louisiana, and it's actually where they claim all the best fighters are from Bosco. So if you don't ever want to break down in Bosco, because if you go to ask for help or go knock on somebody's door, you're going to get like a knuckle sandwich or something. They call themselves the Mardi Gras, which were the people that just the really tough people. And if you weren't from that area, you got to keep on going. So yeah, if you break down in your car, you may want to walk to the next town, not Bosco. So that's called the Bosco Stomp. We're going to start with that one, and yeah, and then we're going to play some. Fiddle Hell has a handbook where they show a lot of the tunes, like give you kind of an idea of what tunes to learn.
Standard tuning or tuning?
Oh yeah, we're in standard tuning too. Because the Cajuns do tune their fiddles down, so that's a good question. We're in standard tuning, EADG. If you go down to Louisiana, you'll run into fiddlers that have their fiddles tuned down, and that's usually just to play along with the C accordion is mainly what that is. Yeah. So what else was I talking about? So so Fiddle Hell has a book that kind of gives you a guide of like if you're getting into a new genre of fiddling. It'll tell you, hey, these are good standard tunes to learn. So we're going to throw in some of those too from the Fiddle Hell handbook. Oh yeah, and there's a tip jar too. So if you want to see me look a little better, with, I'm kind of looking rough at the moment. I've been staying home a little too much. You can leave me a tip, and I'll go out and buy some razor blades and shave my beard or cut my hair or something. I'm just kidding. Yeah. Well, hey, maybe it's almost time. Let's get started. But yeah, we'll start with the Bosco Stomp, and then right after we'll do a waltz, and we'll kind of stick to that. So the Cajuns also play reels, and they play blueses and mazurkas. So a lot of different stuff because they came from all over. They came from France, but a lot of the Cajuns, majority of them came from Nova Scotia. So they were doing, playing reels and doing mouth music, stuff they had learned from the Scots, and really interesting culture down there. And then of course the influence of the African influence, and a lot of the Africans that came to Louisiana from Haiti. So you have like a Haitian connection too. So we'll do a little bit of that kind of Caribbean influence stuff as well. So, all right, let's start with the Bosco Stomp. All right, so it goes like this. Y'all play along with me. Here we go. We're gonna jam. And just to go over, it's in the key of A. Most Cajun tunes are usually just 1-4-5. Some of them are just 1-5. So yeah, just give it a try, and it's pretty simple stuff. And just have fun. That's what this is all about. So here we go, the Bosco Stomp. awesome, y'all. See all my buddies joining up. Linda, Tim. Hope you have your fiddle and your accordion. Hope you jamming. And yeah, it's so good to be doing this. It's so much fun. Thank you, Dave, for giving me the chance to represent Fiddle Hell and to be a part of the Fiddle Hell family, because I definitely love going to Fiddle Hell. It's awesome, awesome time. So yeah, I'm Mitch Reed, and just playing tunes that I grew up playing with, you know, my family and friends growing up down there in Louisiana. One tune that's, you know, really, you know, if you start learning the fiddle down there, one tune you have to learn is this tune called Jolie Blonde. It's called they call it the Cajun National Anthem. And it pretty much is. And it's just, the story is just about this Cajun who has to go work in Texas. And he's never seen a blonde-haired woman before. And he sees this beautiful blonde and he falls instantly in love with her. And then he wants to marry her. Well, she says, you know, you have to ask my father's permission first. You know, this was a long time ago. And so he goes to the father's door, and as soon as the father hears his accent, he says, oh, no, you're not going to marry no Cajun. And he slammed the door in the Cajun's face, and he walked back across to Louisiana with a broken heart. So that's what this tune's all about. Jolie Blonde. So it goes like this. Y'all play along with me. So this is in the key of A, all right? Here we go. All right, Jolie Blonde, Cajun National Anthem. That's one. If you pick up a fiddle down there, you better start learning that tune, because if you go anywhere, people are going to be, and see you with a fiddle, people are going to be like, all right, play me Jolie Blonde. Let's go. Let's hear it. So, yeah, that's a beautiful tune and very standard tune. Most Cajun tunes are about heartache or drinking, because that's basically what Cajun life is about. It's about falling in love or chasing after someone you love, and then celebrating, drinking, or drinking a little too much and missing out on your love. There's a lot of songs about drunkards too as well, and the heartache they had to deal with because they let their life go by. They lost their life to the bottle. So maybe we'll do some of those too tonight. Well, let's see. This is one from the Fiddle Hell handbook of tunes you should learn. Cajun tunes. This one's in there. It's called the Perrodin Two-Step, and this was written by Ira LeJean's uncle, and he was a great accordion player, and he named it after this family. Their name was the Perrodins, and they gave up their house every Saturday for the house dance back in the good old days. And they would move all the furniture out of the house, and they'd throw a big party every Saturday night. And the Perrodin family was very generous about this. So the LeJean family wrote this song called the Perrodin Two-Step. So here we go. And play along with me. This is in the key of D. We're going to change the key all of a sudden. There we go. Perrodin Two-Step. So that's one that, a fiddler, I knew an old fiddler who would play that tune, and he told me that he was never allowed to play that tune again in this dance hall because he played it one time and he got the dancers so excited that they started stomping their feet so much that they all fell through the floor. They fell through the floor. The dance hall was kind of old and needed some repair, and the fiddler that showed up that night who started the dance was kind of boring, and they just couldn't get the dancers going, and so the owner saw my buddy Abner in the crowd, and he said, "Hey, get your fiddle, go play some tunes, let's get this going." And sure enough, he played the Perrodin Two-Step, and everybody got so excited and hit the dance floor and fell through. But it wasn't too bad. Nobody got hurt. It was only about up to their knees maybe or something. And he needed to repair the floor anyway. He was very embarrassed. So they quickly patched up the dance floor and the dance went on. So they just avoided that, danced around that broken area. So yeah, so there's a lot of stories like that down in Louisiana. A lot of crazy stuff goes on down there. So we're going to slow it down with a waltz. This is one by the Balfa brothers. It's called La Valse des Grands Bois, which means the big woods. Don't go out in the big woods at night because you never know what lives or what's out in there. So La Valse des Grands Bois, here we go. And we're playing, we're going to do this, if this helps at all. We're going to do it in the key of D. So here we go. Okay, let me try to change the key there. Let me try it again. right, La Valse des Grands Bois. Good job, y'all. I hear y'all out there. Fantastic. All right, Kathy, you better have your fiddle. Kathy Mason. So thank y'all so much for joining me and for jamming. And Fiddle Hell is always such a blast, especially with all my friends like Kathy and all my good buddies going out there. Jim, Joseph, all those people. And yeah, and it seems like this past year when I went, it seems like that we kind of recruited some new people into the Cajun world, of people who wanted to play some Cajun tunes, so that's great. Yeah, it's not that different. I don't find it's that different from Appalachian fiddling or old time fiddling or maybe Texas fiddling. You know, East Texas had some great fiddlers, and the Cajuns were right there, so they were very influenced by, you know, Texas fiddlers. But also, you know, Louisiana was settled by a lot of Scotch-Irish who came from Virginia during the Spanish land grants. So you have a lot of names that aren't all French, like Reed and McCulley and McDaniel and McGee. One of the oldest fiddlers we had that recorded was Dennis McGee. He was born in 1890. And when he was 16 years old, he learned fiddle tunes. His teacher was 100 years old. So he taught him all these very old tunes. So we're gonna play a tune in honor of Dennis, and this is a great tune. We just call this one McGees Real, and he had a lot of reels, but this is one that most people refer to as McGees Real, and this one is in the key of D. So play along with me. Here we go. Dennis McGee, McGees Real. So yeah, fast tune by Dennis McGee. We're going to slow things down a little bit. I guess I'm just a little excited. So I didn't drink any coffee. I don't drink coffee. Didn't drink any alcohol. Just feels good to be playing tunes and having y'all playing along with me. So thanks so much for joining me tonight. So yeah, let's slow it down. We're going to do, this is a great old time traditional waltz called Madame Sostain. And Madame Sostain was a woman who had a beautiful daughter, and her name was Alida. And all the boys wanted to court her, but she wasn't interested. the only boy that she really wanted to court was the bad boy of the village, and Madame Sostain didn't want to have her to have anything to do with him. And so he busted in the house dance one night and danced with her, and he whispered in her ear, don't worry, I know your mother doesn't want us to be together, but I'm going to steal you. Which in the old days just meant we're going to run away and we're going to elope. We're going to run away together. So he wasn't kidnapping her or anything like that. So anyway, that's the name of this tune. It's called Madame Sostain. So slow it down a little bit. This is a waltz, Cajun waltz, real standard waltz, and it's in the key of D. So feel free to jam along with me. Here we go. Madame Sostain. Oh yeah, y'all, there's a tip jar too. So if you want to leave me a tip, me and Fiddle Hell a tip, feel free to tip us in the tip jar.
There's like a link.
There's a link down there somewhere. So I'm new to this Facebook Live thing. So yeah, but yeah, there's a tip jar down there, and that way you can pay me or help me out, you know, so I can buy some things. No, I'm just kidding. No, I guess it's just one of those things you do, you know. And definitely some of the money goes to Fiddle Hell, which we want to keep Fiddle Hell going because it's an awesome gathering of fiddle players and students and fiddle masters and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, look for the tip jar. All right, so that was an old time Cajun waltz, and let's do a Creole tune. So you have Cajun music and you have Creole music. It's pretty much the same thing. Creole music is music that's played by French-speaking African Americans down in Louisiana, and Cajun music are the descendants of the Acadians who were run out of Nova Scotia. But really, Louisiana down there is just a big melting pot. So you can be Cajun and Creole and all that stuff. So it's just a mixture of African, French, Spanish, Irish, you know, Scotch Irish, English. The dominant language is French, but it's got its own culture and its own religion and everything. It's got Gree down there, you know, and pretty powerful place. Growing up there, I live up here in Maine now, and love it up here. And I'm up here with my cousins. You know, the Acadians are all around me up here as well. So plan on doing some research up here about the my northern cousins. So let's see what we're going to do now. We're going to slow it down. Yeah, so we're going to do a blues, and this is called Bosco Blues. Now, the first tune we did was about Bosco, so this is another tune about that little town that I was warning you about that you never want to break down in because they're known for just beating you up for some reason. So it's the best fighters come from Bosco, and they call themselves the Mardi Gras A. They're just the bullies, and I don't know what happened. They have a really bad chip on their shoulders, and maybe it's because they're just a little place in the middle of nowhere. But keep on going if you see that sign, Bosco. And yeah, and I'm not joking either. Okay. So this is called the Bosco Blues. Here we go. The Bosco Blues. So another great tune about a crazy little town down in Louisiana where you get beat up, and so you can always tell if somebody's been to Bosco because they're got a black eye, missing a few teeth, you know, that kind of thing, a little blood around mouth or on their shirt. And it's really old school down there. So, and the tunes are old. You know, they've been around for a while too. So, yeah, Bosco Blues. Well, let's keep it going with some bluesy stuff. And this is a this is a great Creole tune that I learned from the Chère family. They're from Swallowtail, Louisiana, and their music was so powerful they named their style of music. It was called La La music, and this tune was written by the oldest member of the family, who was a great fiddler. His name was Bebe, and he wrote this tune about a snake that they have down there called a blue runner, and it's this black snake that usually you'll find around a hen house because they love to eat the chicken eggs. And when he was a kid, before he had a real violin, he had made himself a violin out of a cigar box, and he was playing it, and he was watching his grandmother collect the eggs, and she came running out of the hen house with a blue runner snapping at her heels, and all the eggs were flying everywhere. And he thought it was funny, so he instantly, as soon as he saw it, he just grabbed his fiddle and he tried to come up with a tune that would accompany what he was watching, you know, and she was mad at him because she knew he was making fun of her, so she kind of yelled at him after. But he ended up writing this great tune about, you know, his grandmother getting chased by this snake called the Blue Runner. Okay, so it goes like this. So y'all play along with me, and this one is really easy. You know why? It only has one chord, and it's in the key of C. So it's in the key of D. It's in D. So just jam out on that chord. It's very syncopated because this is the Creole music, the Creole fiddle music, very syncopated. And but yeah, just pound out that chord for me. Okay, here we go. Blue Runner. Blue Runner, great tune about a snake that is all over Louisiana. There was an old friend of mine who actually ended his accordion career over a blue runner because they're known to do some crazy stuff, those blue runners. And one of the ways that they travel and get around Louisiana is they bite their tail, the tip of their tail, and they wait for like a very windy day, and they basically form a wheel, and the wind blows them up, and they start rolling, and they'll roll for miles and roll into the next town. So this buddy of mine was going to a dance, and he had his accordion. He was riding his bicycle. He had his accordion in his basket in the front of his bicycle, and he was riding down this old gravel road to go play this house dance, and he was so excited because he really enjoyed this dance. And out of the blue came this blue runner that was, you know, doing the wheel thing. He was biting his tail and rolling across this field, and he rolled right into his front tire and flipped him on the bike, flipped him off the bike, and the accordion flew and hit the gravel road and just busted the accordion to pieces. I mean, there was just pieces everywhere. He tried to pick up all the pieces and put it back in his basket. He had a hat. He put all the pieces in his hat, and he was just so heartbroken. And he, at the time, he had no money, so that was it. Couldn't buy another accordion. It was the end of his accordion career. So, you know, things like that go on down there, and you got to watch those blue runners. So, all right. So let's see what else we got next. We have let's keep it Creole. We're going to switch around. We started Cajun. We're doing some Creole. And we're going to do some Irish coming up pretty soon too, because my family, the Reeds, they were Scotch-Irish, and they came to Louisiana a long time ago, so they've been there for over 200 years, but they were fiddlers, and there was a great Cajun fiddler named Mitch Reed who wrote a lot of tunes. We're going to play some of his tunes too. Wrote some great Cajun fiddle tunes. So yeah, this one's called Robe Parasol, and it just means the hoop skirt, and it's old Creole, and he's just saying, you know, this one guy is singing like, you know, I love your hoop skirt. Lift it up a little bit so I can see your legs. That's what this song is about. All right, it goes like this. Blotto by Parasol. Yeah. So, yeah, Cajun French is a mixture of, Canadian French, African, some Native American, and, French from France. So, kind of have their own language, but it is real French, and it's a beautiful language, and it's still spoken down there, and it's making a revival. It's being taught in the schools. There's French immersion schools that you can put your kids in from kindergarten all the way to high school. So that's pretty awesome. And my mom and dad spoke French in the house when we were kids. We didn't really learn it, but we learned Fringlish, so like a mixture of French and English. But my mother, spoke French. That was her first language. And my grandfather, whose last name was Reed, was very strange, only spoke French. And he would not, if anybody spoke English in his house, he'd throw them out. He was not big fans of the English, evidently, Maybe it's some old Irish thing, but anyway. Okay, so let's do this one. This is a good one. It's called Johnny Papa Don't Say, Johnny Can't Dance. And this is in the key of D, and this is a great dance tune, and it's a fun fiddle tune to play too. So here we go, Johnny Can't Dance. Y'all play along with me. It sounds good. I hear y'all out there. Okay, so here we go. Johnny, that's about a guy who loves to go to the dance and look at all the pretty girls and try to dance with them, but he just could not dance. He had 2 left feet, and everybody felt really sorry for him, and he'd go every night, and when he would get up to go ask a girl to dance and they'd see him coming, they would take off, you know, because nobody wanted to dance with Johnny, because he'd step on your feet and he had bad breath, and you know, just wasn't, you know, the funnest person to dance with. So anyway, Cajuns write a song about anything and everybody. So that's Poverty Johnny. Johnny can't dance. All right, let's see what else we got. Well, let's do a little festive tune. This is called the Mardi Gras song, and you're not supposed to play this tune after Mardi Gras, but that's only in Louisiana. Hopefully, you know, I won't get in trouble. Hopefully nobody says anything about what I'm about to do. So anyway, it's a great tune to learn. And the Mardi Gras down in Cajun country, this song is really all about singing for the riders. The riders are the people who are the Mardi Gras, the people who go door to door and knock on your door and beg for rice or a potato, or the best thing that you can throw them is a chicken, a live chicken, and they put it in a sack and they collect all these ingredients, go all around the town, the community, and at the end of the day, they make a big gumbo and a potato salad, and they drink a lot of beer while they're doing this collecting of ingredients. So at the end of the day, yeah, just be careful what gets thrown into that gumbo. So you never know. But this is called the Mardi Gras song, or the Mardi Gras tune, or just Mardi Gras. All right, so here we go. So this is in, we're going to do this in the key of A. So here we go. Mardi Gras. So let's maybe do something a little Irish here. They actually did play jigs in Louisiana. It's definitely dying out. You know, people just don't dance the jig anymore. But let's do a jig. Let's do the Kesh Jig, which I know everybody knows that one, and then go into one called Sot Crapeau, which is a Cajun tune about a frog, a little frog that this little girl brings home one day and puts him in a little box, and it turns out he could dance when he heard music. So let's see if I remember how to play it though. Yeah, so we'll start with the Kesh Jig and then we'll go into Sot Crapeau. So here we go. So in G. Kesh Jig and into Salt Crapeau. So some Irish jigs and Cajun jigs together there. Yeah, so thank y'all so much for joining me today, and let's hear it for Fiddle Hell. They're putting this on, and so honored to be associated with those guys and part of that, you know, team, and such a great place. So definitely when November rolls around, start thinking about Fiddle Hell, because it's incredible, and it's most fiddle camps are all in the summertime, you know, so it's such a uplifting thing in the fall. You know, it starts getting dark around that time, and it's a great way to boost your spirits, you know, in the fall, right around or right after. Oh no, what am I saying? Yeah, right after Halloween. So anyway, okay. So yeah, and there's a tip jar too. So feel free to tip if you like what's going on, and feel free to send me some comments. I'm trying to read the comments. I see a lot of my friends are out there jamming. So thank y'all so much. I really appreciate it. And thanks for all the positive comments so far. All right. No more songs about snakes, I promise. So, okay. Let's see what we got. Let's do a Balfa Waltz. So this is, the Balfa brothers were probably one of the most famous fiddle families from Louisiana. If you want to get into Cajun fiddling, listen to the Balfa brothers and listen to that record. We call it the Yellow Record. It's the classic Balfa brothers recording, and this is on there. And it's a song that just was written by their great grandfather, and it just remained in the family. So they just call it the Balfa Waltz. Kind of a sad waltz. There's beautiful vocals to it, but I can't sing that high, so I'm not going to sing it. Plus I live in an apartment, and I live upstairs, and I'm sure my neighbor by now has probably already had enough. But the police haven't showed up yet, so no banging on the door and no police. So far so good. Okay, here we go. Balfa Waltz. Balfa Waltz, La Voz de Balfa. So Dewey Balfa was a legendary Cajun fiddler, just amazing, fiddler and also ambassador to our culture and music. And I got to play with him for 3 years, and we became good friends. And he was just an amazing person. Did so much for me and taught me so much, and gave so much of himself to everybody, and really was so proud of the Cajuns and spreading the Cajun word, because a long time ago the Cajuns were made fun of. They were teased by when the oil industry opened up down there in the 1930s. The people from all over came down there, and they said, "What are these people? Speaking this weird language, eating all this weird food, playing this weird music." And now everybody wants to move down there and be a part of the Cajun and the Creoles. So who knows, But he was a great guy, and always, taught kids and people to have pride in being Cajun and what your culture, has and represents. So there's an old Cajun expression in French. It says, "Lâche pas la patate," which means don't drop the potato. So don't lose your culture, don't lose your identity, which that was important for him and all of us. All of us Cajuns, but should be important for everybody. I hope so. Okay, let's see. Well, this is a good one. It's a Cheese Reed tune, or I learned it from Cheese, listening to Cheese Reed. It's called "Used to Have Some, But Now You Don't." In French, you say "Toi n'as eu, tu n'en as plus." So it goes like this. Used to have some, but now you don't. So good old time Cajun two-step there. Let's slow it down, and this is a real standard waltz that is kind of like Jolie Blonde. We were saying earlier, Jolie Blonde is the Cajun national anthem, and this one is definitely like if you go play for some old people, they're going to want to hear this song, and it's called "J'ai passé devant ta porte." I passed by your door. And just reminding y'all again, don't forget that tip jar. There's a tip jar if you like this music. And, you know, leave me a tip. Me and Fiddle Hell a tip there and see what y'all think. So, okay. So let's see what else. Wow, there's all this stuff popping up. Trying to read it too, but it looks pretty cool. Looks like people are enjoying themselves out there. So yeah, this is a great tune. If you want to walk away with one for sure that you want to remember if you go down to Louisiana, this is the one. J'ai passé devant ta porte. I passed by your door, and it's just a very sad song about a guy who was courting this girl, and he had to go off and fight in this war, and he came back and thought about her the whole time, and the first thing he did was go straight to her house to ask her father for her hand in marriage. And as he got closer to the house, he saw there were a lot of, this was a long time ago, so there were a lot of horses and buggies, and there were candles in the windows. Well, that in those days meant that there was a wake going on, that there was a funeral happening. And he got closer and he thought, oh, it's probably her grandmother or something that passed away. And he gets right by her door, the entrance to her house, and he sees her in the coffin. It's the girl, the 16-year-old girl that passed away, that's dead in the coffin. So a really sad song. J'ai passé devant ta porte. So it goes like this. J'ai passé devant ta porte. I passed by your door and saw that you were in the coffin dead. And that's the end of that relationship. So anyway, another sad Cajun song. Well, let's see. Let's do some Cheese Reed stuff. So Cheese had a very kind of Irish style or even Appalachian style to his fiddling, and this is one that I like that he did called the Empty Bottle Stomp. And he was known to like whiskey, so this could be that empty bottle he's talking about. So here we go. It goes like this. It's in the key of A. McGees Real, the Empty Bottle Stomp. And I'm just reading some comments here because, yeah, there's a lot of stuff popping up on the screen. Looks like everybody's having a good time, though. Y'all sound great. And these are, you know, some standard tunes, but some kind of, you know, off the wall or weird Cajun tunes. But that's just the stuff that I play. You know, so many of the standard tunes are, you can go out and find those and easy to learn. But these, I just don't want them to die because they're just too interesting. So I always like to play these and keep teaching them and hoping people play these tunes, you know, because I learned them from the old masters, and when they taught me, you know, they told me that. They were like, play this tune, don't let this tune die, boy. I was like, okay, I'll do my best. So here I am now, 49 years old, and trying to, now I'm almost the old guy. I have enough white in my beard, I can be the old guy. So passing on the tunes. All right, well, let's see what else we got. Let's do another a couple of Irish stuff. I know some of my Irish buddies are here. Let's do maybe Julie Delaney's into the Coachman's Whip. That's a good one. Okay, let's give it a try. Some Irish tunes there. So yeah, this has been fun, y'all. Thanks so much for joining me today, and thank you, Fiddle Hell, for introducing me to so many cool people, so many great fiddlers. And what's great about going to Fiddle Hell is, you know, you get hired to teach classes, but you can go take classes as well. So I was able to take some fantastic, you know, Irish classes and old-timey fiddle and all kind of amazing stuff. Did one on, what was it? Shetland Isle bowing. That was really interesting. So much stuff to do at Fiddle Hell, and just an amazing place. So yeah, let's play it some more. Let's see what we got. This is a good Cajun waltz, slow it down with a waltz. And this was written by Dennis McGee, and it's called Bebe Creole, my Creole sweet mama. This is how he called this tune. So this is in let's see what this is. This is in the key of D. So we're gonna... Bebe Creole, Mon Bebe Creole, Dennis McGee, one of the oldest recorded Cajun waltzes. Good old Dennis. So, yeah, thanks so much for jamming with me, y'all. This has been a lot of fun. Let's see, let's do, let's see what would be another good one. This is another Cheese Reed tune. It's just called Cheese Reed's Favorite. And, yeah. Fun tune, kind of like a reel. So I won't try to not play so fast. So I play a little slow. Maybe we can start slow and speed it up. So it goes like this. Here we go. right, good old Cheese Reed. Something called Cheese Reed's Favorite. I don't know why they called him Cheese. But my grandfather knew him, and he was a great guy, and he was just a farmer. You know, he had this farmland, and when he was about, and he played the fiddle, and he had a garden, and him and his wife had this great life. And when he was about 70 years old, they struck oil on his land, oil and gas, and he became like a millionaire overnight. And he kind of changed his life because, you know, he just didn't have to work as hard. So he started, you know, playing the fiddle more and drinking more whiskey too. And so my grandfather found him on the side of the road one day. He was picking blackberries, and he was putting them in his straw hat that he had. But his face was really red. He had drank a lot of whiskey, and evidently saw these blackberries on the side of the highway and thought, I got to stop and pick those, you know. Amazing what Old Crow can do to you, you know, when you've had a few Old Crow hits and see some blackberries. So we're going to play another tune. This is one that I learned from Mike Doucet, and they wrote this while they were in France. They went over there to kind of just do some research on the Cajun, the Cajuns that came from France to Louisiana. And while they were there, they ended up getting a record deal because they were just playing out in the streets. And so they had to hurry up and come up with this original song for this program that they were going to be involved in. And so they wrote this tune. It's called Arc de Triomphe. And it's basically about how in France, this is how things go. And then how in... wow, one of my kids just fell really hard, so sorry. You can probably hear the crying in the background. So anyway, it's called Arc de Triomphe, and it's a great tune, and it's got words to it. It basically says, you know, in France we do this, but in Louisiana we do this, you know. So here we go, Arc de Triomphe. La Louisiane, tous les soirs, Chère, on fait des grands bonbons. En la France différente, c'est tout poussé au temps. La Louisiane, tous les soirs, on les colle les wawarons. En Paris, c'est différent, c'est voir avec mon nom. A lot of my friends are like, Mitch, you're singing. Yeah, I sing every now and then, only when I have to, but it's fun to sing, and I don't sing a whole lot of the tunes, but one of the reasons I never sang a whole lot was I was able to play with some of the best singers in Louisiana, so I, you know, let them sing, you know. But singing is great, and the French is fun to learn and fun to sing in. So, yeah, those of you who like it, get some books and learn how to sing some Cajun songs. It's a lot of fun. Well, I guess we got time for one more. Just looking, I have a little list that I made here, just kind of looking at that. Let's see, is there some that we missed on? Oh yeah, let's end with this one. I think this is a great one to end with, and this is one that Dewey Balfa wrote, and he wrote it after going through a really dark time in his life. He lost his brothers and then his wife, and put the fiddle away, and then these friends came and rescued him basically, and got the fiddle out, and they didn't play Cajun music. They played some old-timey stuff, but he was inspired by that genre, and he wrote this Cajun tune in honor of just life in general, just how life is so important. It's so important to keep afloat, and even through dark times, which we can all relate to right now at this moment. So it's called The Reel of Life, and it goes like this. Y'all play along with me. This is the last one, y'all. Let's do it. Well, thank y'all so much for taking part in this jam, and thank you, Fiddle Hell, for the awesome experience that I've had so many years going to Fiddle Hell, and can't wait to go back. And yeah, we got a tip jar if you enjoyed yourself. Feel free to send some tips our way, and hope tonight you learned some stuff about Cajun fiddle and Cajun music and Creole culture and Creole music as well. And thanks for all my Irish buddies letting me play some Irish tunes. And yeah, everybody stay safe out there, and stay inspired while you're on lockdown. This is a good time to practice your instruments, your music, and music will get us through these crazy times. And wish everybody the best of luck and the best of health too. So wear your masks and stay home. I'm still staying home. I'm not like my friends down there that are already going to the boudin stands and not wearing their masks. So stay safe out there. Thanks, Dave. Thank everybody so much for having me, and can't wait to see y'all at Fiddle Hell and do this again, whether it be online or in person. So we'll see what happens. Okay. Have a good night, everybody. Take care. Thanks so much.